third hour right now, and the Broncos are underway out in Santa Clara. Joint practices with the San Francisco 49ers. I actually shouldn't say practices. I should say practice, because today will be the only day, and then they will go do individual drills tomorrow. A couple of updates of things that we are seeing. We did tell you no Brandon Jones, no Dre Greenlaw, no Alex Singleton. Not sure what the Brandon Jones issue is, but we know that the two inside linebackers are dealing with something, and honestly, Cecil, you know what they can be if they're right. I'm intrigued to see and hear, really, because we're only going to hear how Lavelle Bailey looked today.
Yeah.
Did Justin Strnad. Now, you're asked to follow around Christian McCaffrey, which is an uphill battle over Jaleel McLaughlin, but can he look good, serviceable in some of the route defending that we saw, a couple of days ago at this point? And did they hold their own at the second level when Christian McCaffrey got there as a runner?
Well, and we know who is not practicing for the Denver Broncos. I want to know who's not practicing for the 49ers, because are you facing Christian McCaffrey in a one-on-one? Are you facing George Kittle in a team? Because this Broncos defense has two weak spots historically, and I'm not sure if they're weak spots today, if everybody's healthy. The one weak spot is stuffing the run. How are you attacking the run? How are you stuffing the run? Christian McCaffrey going to be very dangerous, very difficult to contain as a runner. Are you doing that today? As a receiver out of the backfield, doesn't matter if it's a screen, a wheel, a Texas, no matter the route, you know that Christian McCaffrey is going to be very dangerous. How is Lavelle Bailey handling that? But then also for the inside linebackers, a lot of inside linebacker talk, because it's a concern for this team.
Yes, it is.
And it's a concern with Singleton and Greenlaw both a little bit banged up. How are you against those tight ends? This team has historically been weak against the tight end, except when Danny Trevathan was here, and that was 10 years ago. So are you still weak against the tight end? You have one of the best in the league and George Kittle out there. So if Kittle is participating in practice, and imagine that he is, with Christian, I'm not sure, just because he's, coming off injury again and has been a little bit injury prone. So we'll see how that goes. But based on your competition, you've got the best tight end in the game, arguably, who you're tasked with covering. And if you're Lavelle Bailey, I want to see that. Maybe I don't want to see it.
Well, it might not work out well for
But
Bailey.
I want to see it to see how it works out. How close is he to being able to kind of stick and hang with that guy? Is he not close at all? Is that a huge concern? Because we talked about the running backs you'll be facing early on in the season. There are some tight ends along the way that you will be facing as well. I'm stuck on Philadelphia. It's not just Saquon Barkley, but you got Dallas Goedert there. With Cincinnati, you have Mike Gesicki there. So you're going to look at this situation and go, all right, the Chigi Okonkwo in week one could be somewhat of a problem. It's Cam Ward, rookie quarterback, but still, you've got to prove.
You got Brock Bowers and Travis Kelce twice.
There you go. And you've got to prove that you can slow down tight ends. Lavelle Bailey, you're up, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what we hear out of it. A couple of things we're seeing on the internet from folks that are out there. Looks like Troy Franklin getting a nice catch, creating some separation. Riley Moss with the diving pass breakup. And apparently J.L. Skinner had an interception working in 7-on-7s. I'm assuming that's not against Brock Purdy, but an interception nonetheless.
Yeah, you would think with Skinner out there, it'd be second or third team reps with that team. So you go, all right, what's that? Mac Jones, right? Because he's finally in San Francisco.
Forgot about that, yeah.
Because Kyle wanted Mac Jones and John Lynch wanted Trey Lance. We know who won. Mm-hmm. And
Trey Lance is now on his third team.
As Dr. Phil would say, how'd that work out? Mm-hmm. How's that working out there? But Mac Jones is the direct backup to Brock Purdy. We'll see how that goes. And J.L. Skinner out there showing some plays on defense, which is good because he really hasn't done that here.
No, he's really been on special teams. That's all we've seen.
And he's a really good special teams player. And my goodness, is he huge. He's tall. He's a little skinny, right?
Yeah.
But he's a tall player, definitely strikes a pose out there at the safety position because of that size, the height. And you go, okay, what can he do on defense? Hasn't been much. He hasn't developed the way as planned, but he's really honed his skill set as a special teamer.
And by the way, it wasn't even Mac. It was Carter Bradley that JL picked off. So thirds versus thirds going on right there. Again, as we learn more and find more out, we will certainly be sharing that with you guys. George Kittle looking like he got a catch over PS2. And by the way, I know we talked about some of the names, but I think we went over the names that you have to worry about at tight end. It's been a deficiency for the Broncos, specifically that linebacker spot. But you have 4 games total, Brock and Travis. You talk about you're going to see a little bit of George Kittle now. Cincinnati, Philadelphia, there's going to be something there, but it's not littered with these, all-pro tight ends throughout the season.
Yeah, not as much as you'd think. The Green Bay game against Tucker Kraft is going to be interesting there as well, further down the list. So you've got some concern. You don't want it to be a headache for you along the way. Let's say you get back to the postseason. Let's say you're facing Buffalo.
There we go. Yep.
And they can trot out a Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox combination. Like you and Baltimore, Mark Andrews when he's not dropping passes, and Isaiah Likely, who could be an all-pro. So for me, my eyes are on the playoffs. Okay, regular season, make sure it's not a sieve defensively against the tight end. But postseason, why? Who in the AFC, Travis Kelce, who in the AFC could be in your way of the Super Bowl that has a really good tight end? All of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. So every team that potentially could be in your way, again, even Cincinnati with Mike Gesicki, they've got tight ends. You have to prove it, even though the regular season you only get a smattering. I like that word. You're getting a smattering. Yeah. Is that even a word of tight ends throughout the season? Come playoff time, Baltimore's got 2 guys. Buffalo's got 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you think about Noah Fant, Cincinnati's got 2 guys.
We'll go 1.25 out there in Cincy.
Okay, Gesicki and a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of Noah. Yeah.
By the way, more updates. This Broncos defense is doing exactly what you and I saw them do for the 9-10 days that we were out there. Another tweet from, there's a bunch of guys just going, and I'm just reading the timeline here. But Jaquan McMillan picked off Brock Purdy. Now 1v1s in 7-on-7. Apparently the ball hung up in the air. Jaquan tipped it up again to keep it to himself, and another interception right there. So that's a couple of interceptions already for the Broncos defense. This is why we've been telling you we need to see the Broncos offense versus somebody that's not the Broncos defense, because it's really, really hard to gauge what they can do against a top, maybe the best, but certainly a top 2-3 defense in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's good to hear that Jaquan is doing that, and good to hear that it's against the first team. We'll say they had to pay Brock Purdy, but they're also, in a way, overpaying Brock Purdy. He's not the best quarterback in the league. He's not the worst. Certainly a great story, Mr. Irrelevant. And I remember talking to him at the Shrine Bowl in Vegas, thinking I'd buy insurance from him when he was done, because he thought he was done. He thought that was his last hurrah of football. It wasn't. So good for you. And Jaquan, good for you picking off the guy. In the first team, these are the reps that we want to see the most. It's good for confidence for J.L. Skinner to pick off anybody that's throwing the ball. Carter Bradley, who was it?
Yeah, Carter Bradley.
So that's awesome for Skinner. It's better for McMillan to pick off Brock Purdy.
We also are now learning about a rolled ankle from Matt Henningsen. That's just a depth piece at the inside line, the defensive line.
Right.
But all of this stuff's about the defense. We have to hear something about the offense today. You and I both said to start the show, we want it to be about the running game.
Right.
Because they had 0 success. Literally 3 runs popped in the 10 days that we were out there. 3 runs, Cecil. And that's it. They had limited success in the middle of the field, some success in the red area, and then very, very limited success rushing the football. I know they just started. We need to get some good information about the Broncos offense today, too.
Well, and you also have a defense that's got some playmakers, but both of their corners, Renardo Green and Diomardo Lenoir, are a little bit banged up. Now, I don't know if they're practicing. I'll assume they are, and do not even try to smell Diomodar Lenoir. So they've got a couple of top corners that are banged up. Maybe they're out there practicing, maybe not. But if they're not, and you're going against their third and fourth corners, yeah, Court, you better eat. Pat Bryant, you better eat. So I'm anxiously awaiting, like pins and needles. I'll take anything. I need a big Evan Ingram play. All the stuff that is new stuff, like RJ Harvey, like Evan Ingram, like Pat Bryant, like a lot of the new guys, like go out there and show, oh, this is the right thing. They're on the right track. And we want to hear this Broncos offense, was able to get some plays, some big plays against this 49ers defense.
Well, look, I know they're not new guys, but I want to throw Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims into that part of the conversation you're talking about.
Is Troy kind of new just because he's so different now?
Yeah, he's a completely different player.
Yeah.
And his what did Lombardi say? Like, he mastered the role. Now we're kind of throwing some slot stuff at him. Like, I want to see him do some other things that's not just fastest guy on the field and outruns a cornerback on the far side.
Right. So I want to see that from this team. And again, going up at the 49ers defense is good. I wouldn't say they're great. They're not as strong as the Broncos defense, that is for sure. But you've got talent at all three levels, so make sure that you have a run play, you have a tight end play, and you have some big plays from your wide receivers, whether that's Sutton, Bryant, Mims, Franklin, whoever.
Yep, I want to see it from both of those guys. Vele, I don't know exactly how much is going to go on. We've been talking about his injury and the sleeve he's wearing, so I don't know how much participation he's going to have today.
And then I'm wondering, what's the media policy?
Well, they're going crazy.
Because if they're going crazy reporting the plays, we can't do that when they're here.
They're not in Denver? They're not under Denver's watch right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, I just did a quick Google search to see if the 49ers were broadcasting this like the Dallas Cowboys did. Zach asked an interesting question yesterday on the drive about like, hey, if it was $1.99, would you pay to watch it? A lot of people said yeah.
The joint practice? Yeah, for $2, heck yeah, I would.
Yeah. And even, and some people are like, well, I'm at work. And okay, I get that. But if it's sitting there waiting for you at home, you know what I would love tonight? To go home and watch YouTube and watch the joint practice, the complete joint practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're missing the boat on that. The boat on that 100%.
Yeah, it's just because Sean's all secretive. Sean, people know what you're going to do. They just haven't seen you do it with these guys yet.
Yeah. All right, as we get new information, you guys will be the first to get it as it comes in our way, but they are underway there. We're doing some 7-on-7s, 11-on-11 team stuff. That will be coming sooner rather than later. Real quick, is this a 2.5-hour joint practice? How do you think this lines up?
I think this lines up to be a pretty, they started late.
Yeah, true.
So local time, they'll probably wrap up about the time we're done.
Okay, that's a good practice then.
Yeah, that's a real healthy practice. It's the only one you've got in. So the fact that there's the only one you've got in, make the most of it. And yeah, everyone drink your water, stay hydrated, and go out there and get in the work. So I want to know these team drills. And I'll get a little bit ahead. If we don't hear anything about the offense,
I'm going to be worried.
Let's put a pin in that. I don't want to say worried, but it's not what you want. You want to hear about some big plays from this offense, so let's make it happen.
Yeah. Broncos Syndicate on YouTube said, I'll pay $10 to watch it. Well, pay
What's
for
up,
us
Gage?
then.
That's Gage. What's up, Gage?
All right, I want to hear a little bit from Pat Bryant. Again, as information comes in, we'll pass it along and share it with you. Both of us want to hear something about this offense. Let me tell you about our fan golf tournament coming up later on this month. It benefits the Arthritis Foundation of Colorado, going down on Monday, August 25th. Start time's 1:30, playing at the club at Inverness. You do not want to miss this 4-person scramble, followed by a little dinner, awards, and a live auction. All the proceeds from the auction and the tournament are going to benefit the Arthritis Foundation of Colorado. So get in on it. Book your foursome now at denversports.com/club. That is denversports.com/club. All right, Cease, let's hear a couple of things here from Pat Bryant. So we talked about Pat Bryant feeling like he belongs a little bit earlier, going up against PS2 and having some success against PS2. He was also asked about what he's learning from Pat Surtain.
Yeah, he always tell, especially us young bucks, he tell us what indicators he pick up on from us and other receivers. One thing he always told, especially us big receivers, try to keep your shoulder pads low because, that's the first indicator, the DBs when you're about to break or you're about to make a move. So, I'm saying I do that with any of the DBs, especially second-year guys. Whatever it is, I always ask them, what made you break on that route fast? You know what I'm saying? How could I block you better? Whatever it is, man, I'm always all ears and looking to get better.
All right, again, I love what I'm hearing out of Pat Bryant. He sounds like a vet. He doesn't sound like a rookie, but you can tell by the questioning. They're like, yeah, I'm always asking the guys, how'd you break on the ball so fast?
Right.
The shoulder pad level stuff. You've talked about that for a couple of years now of, wasn't it Franklin that was kind of tipping off what he's doing via his shoulder pads?
Yep.
And now here's a guy, not even a game into his rookie year, getting ahead of that curve of tipping with your shoulder pads.
You want to make everything look the same until you make your break. Until you get to the stem and make your cut, you want everything to look the same. And with Troy Franklin, it's like he would lean. He'd I'm over here, guys. So you knew where he was going to go. With Pat Bryant, he's a grinder. You hear that in that answer, but you see it out on the practice field because he never stops. And not just stop practice and whatever, but he's always talking to Surtain. He's talking to KAD. He's talking to defender. He's talking to Cortland Sutton. Sutton's done a really good job taking Joaquin Davis under his wing and Pat Bryant as well.
Yeah.
So
I saw somebody posted about that yesterday.
Did ZB? I think
it
ZB.
was Zach.
Yeah,
It was Zach.
ZB
Yeah,
said that.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like he's doing a great job of being a mentor to these young guys. But most importantly, Joaquin, yes. But Pat Bryant, who we're talking about now, he's the one that's absorbing it and wanting that knowledge. Like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Tell me what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell me what works. Tell me what you did. And that type of stuff, he's just putting in the mental register, and it's going to be able to pull it up. Again, he's clutch. The one word for Pat Bryant, if you're not familiar with this game, is he's absolutely clutch. So when the chips are down, he's going to make a play.
We're both very high on Pat Bryant. We both really like Pat Bryant. I still don't know, and especially because I'm higher on Troy Franklin right now than I am Pat Bryant. And that doesn't say anything about Pat. It says a lot about Troy. Where they are, and Vele's, it's going to get late quick for Devon Vele. So he's losing some stuff here with that injury and not fully participating in stuff. Obviously, Cortland Mims are going to be out there. Man, I'm looking at Troy Franklin having a really, really healthy role here. And then now you're looking at, if Devon Vele can't get right and continues to miss some stuff, can Pat Bryant even leapfrog a guy like Devon Vele within the first few weeks of the regular season?
Yeah, it's not out of the question, right? And that's why the number 2 receiver conversation, it's going to change. Don't think it's not love. It's not forever, girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now. Right now, it may not be Pat Bryant. It may be Vele or whoever, name buddy, and Troy Franklin, whatever. Pat Bryant's coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to take your job. So just get ready.
Sometimes love lasts forever.